my name is Lindsay and welcome to my channel. If you're new here, welcome. This is my first video, so we're just gonna give it a shot and hopefully you can learn a little bit from the information I have to offer. And if you have any questions or comments, leave them in the comment section below. And anything I refer to will also be in the description box. So let's get started. A little bit about me. Well, I'm 31 years old. I am a licensed cosmetologist by trade, but I went back to school here at Lake Area Tech for my business associate's degree. I'm going to open a roller skating rink, and I am a fitness fanatic. I'm a skating coach. I play roller derby. I'm a turbo kick instructor and also an insanity instructor. I'm a type 1 diabetic and I also have celiac disease. So what my video is going to be on today is the ketogenic diet, and if it will be good for you, if it won't be. They don't really want to know anything else about it, even though it's important. They want to know, well, what do I eat? You know, which is pretty important question, but we will get to that. But first, let's kind of go through the history of what it is, pros and cons, what you do eat exactly, and you know, different recipes, eating out, things like that. So what is keto exactly? Well, ketogenic diet is high fat, moderate protein, low carbohydrate. So your you know, fats could be anything from butter, animal fat, coconut oil. Ghee is also acceptable, like olive oils, anything high fat, minimally processed. So, you know, leave out vegetable oil, sesame oil, like very inflammatory type foods, fats for that. You just want to leave those out. So moderate protein. So obviously, I hope you know what protein is at this point. It's going to be your meat. So it's going to be your beef, pork, chicken, bacon, ham, fish, and there are other sources of protein. Those are going to be your main sources. And then your carbohydrates. Those are going to be your vegetables, essentially, and the very small amount of fruit that we can have are berries. Now, a ketogenic diet is usually 20 grams or below of carbohydrates. Sorry if you hear that noise in the background. My son is getting a snack. Hashtag mom life. Okay, so a ketogenic diet is usually 20 grams of carbohydrates or less. Now you're like, well, how do I keep track of that? Well, there are plenty of apps out there you can choose from. One of the most popular one is MyFitnessPal. There is a specific keto one, and I know there's a few others, but I'll admit I started using the app for a while, MyFitnessPal, and then I just kind of, you know, stopped because I knew what had what in it. The goal of the ketogenic diet is to get into nutritional ketosis. Now, if you're type 1 diabetic like me, or diabetic, you've probably heard the word ketones and been like, no, oh man, like, stay away ketones. They are bad, bad, bad. Well, I'm here to tell you that they can be beneficial, even for type 1 diabetics. I know, it sounds crazy. Ketones got a bad reputation, and everything was changed. Oh, sorry, I don't know why I'm playing with that. But after the discovery of using low carb diets for epileptics, for people with epilepsy, you know, it kind of kind of like didn't become so scary. And then more and more research has discovered that there are two types of ketones, and the ones produced from the ketogenic diet are the good ketones. They help you with energy, they help with brain clarity, gut inflammation, your gut health, all those types of things. And then there are the bad ketones in the type 1 diabetic scenario with the too high of blood sugar with too little insulin. That leads to DKA, which is dehydration, and your body basically shuts down. Make sure that your healthcare provider is very informed. Make sure you choose a healthcare provider that is supportive of your decision and also knowledgeable about a low carb diet. It doesn't necessarily have to be ketogenic, but your numbers will change on your pump, or if you give shots, they will change. So with that, some pros and cons are you have a reduced insulin level. You basically don't need as much insulin. It reduces inflammation all throughout your body, which in turn increases healing. I got a wrist sprain 2 weeks ago at a roller derby game I was playing, and it, let's see, I'm 2 weeks out, and it's definitely feeling better. It's not fully healed yet, but it's getting there. And I think the ketogenic diet has helped with any inflammation. You feel fuller longer, so you don't have to waste your money on snack food. You waste less money overall because you're not buying junk food. The less processed the food is, the more it's going to fill you up, and it's actually going to cost you less money in the long run. So some of the cons could be that it can be difficult to stick through. If you're like a food addict and you do have serious issues with food, then trying to compete with those inner demons in your head is usually harder than actually changing your diet. That is something I'm very familiar with. I am not an addict of any kind except for sugar. Type 1 diabetics usually have the worst sweet tooth, and I definitely fall into that category. So what that means is it might take you a little bit longer to get the results you're wanting, because you might fall off the wagon and just have a huge carb binge session and then go back to being keto, which is also not good to do, but you know, it's all a learning process, and it's not saying it's impossible, because I know hundreds and thousands of people who are doing this the long term that have stuck with it 100% for at least a year or more. So it's kind of as hard as you make it. If you make it hard, then it's going to be hard. If you work at it and try, it's going to get easier. I can tell you that. Some other mistakes or cons that you can make is you can eat the wrong fats or do the if it fits in your macros. And what that means is your fats, proteins, and carbohydrates are called your macronutrients. They're 3 large groups of food that you need to eat to stay healthy and alive. And if you eat the wrong fats in there, it can trigger inflammation, or it can throw off your macro count because it might have, sugar in it or something, or you're just going to say, oh, that little treat, a few carbs, it won't hurt. Well, I've been on that train too, and let me tell you, it's not worth it. Stick with keto. If you're gonna go full in, go full in. And I am officially off the if it fits your macros train. I'm done. I'm tired of it. So another thing can be is depends again on your body composition and your lifestyle and everything else is that sometimes the weight can come off a little slower. And to me, I don't know if that's really a con, because you didn't put on the weight in one day. It's going to take a while to drop the weight also. But even more importantly, you are worth more than what you weigh. Your weight is not the end all be all of your whole being. You know, there's so much more to you than how much you weigh. There's how healthy are you? How do your joints feel? Odd question, but how are your poops? Like, honest questions here. You know, how healthy, how, you know, is your skin clear? How much can you lift? You know, how strong are you? How flexible are you? Are you tired all the time? Are you not tired? Do you have tons of energy? Like, there's so much more to health than the number on the scale. And not to mention, that number on the scale can change because of different factors, even out of our control. You know, when the moon is slightly closer to the earth, the tide comes in, things like that. That can all affect what your weight is on the scale, because the scale depends on the earth and science and gravity. And that part is not always concrete and right. So, and you know, depending on what you eat, your weight can fluctuate anywhere between a few pounds to up to 5 pounds a day. I have seen it with my own eyes. So anyways, there's a lot more to your health than what you weigh. When I started this diet, I weighed 113 or 116 pounds, and now I weigh 126 pounds. I am 4 feet 10 inches tall, so I ain't got much room to put it all, but my weight has actually gone up. But what you haven't seen, or maybe you have, is I'm a lot stronger and I have a lot more energy than than I did last year. And last year at this time, I had only been on the diet for about 4 months or 5 months at that point. But this year, I've really hit my going at it here. But I can, you know, lift 2.5 times more than I could lift last year at the gym. I can do my games a lot easier. My blood sugars are easier to control. My skin is clear. The inflammation in my face has gone down. As you can see, I really like makeup, and I have like not as hooded eyes, so I can do more fun makeup. And the swelling in my face has gone down. The puffiness, I have so much more mental clarity. It just, the benefits besides my weight going up has been like way up here. So here's my weight importance, and then here's my health benefits importance, and they're way up here. So my weight going up 10 pounds, I really don't care, because I'm kicking butt right now.